Hi, Kamen. I first want you to introduce yourself and say a little bit about yourself, and then we'll touch the topic about what you actually want to discuss.
Anyway, I spent about 33 years in Bulgarian national television, 32 and a half exactly. Started as assistant director in the winter of 1987. And after that, I became a sports journalist in 1992, and I spent a lot of time there and turning myself as one of the maybe the best Bulgarian sports commentators, if you believe me. So I dedicated a lot of years to this work, and after going to 8 Olympics, covering a lot of world soccer championships, world basketball championships, alpine skiing, and a lot of other things, and hosting my own show for 11 years. I was cut by the new management of Bulgarian national television a year ago, and now I'm a happy, unemployed guy who is spending his time on his own way and having fun every day and every hour. So it's my short story. I was some kind of bad basketball player before that, and I finished with my poor basketball career exactly after I finished my duties to the army. And when I was 21, I started in Bulgarian national television. So this is a long story in only a few sentences.
So when did you start having the passion for sports?
I think I was about 6 years old in 1972 during the Munich Olympics. My father was a sports commentator and journalist too, so he was there. And this is maybe the first big sport event that I followed really strictly on Bulgarian national television. And even on some kind of, I don't know, not very conscious way, but I started to be interested in sports. And after that, in 1974, it was the first World Football Championship that I saw live. And since then, I'm a lifetime fan of Germany. And it sounds strange for everybody because everyone is fan of England or Brazil or Spain, but I'm a fan of German soccer, so I'm a proud fan of German soccer and Bayern Munich too. So I started my love with sports then, and after that, when I was 13, I started to play basketball in a Bulgarian club called Levski, and I spent my 2 years in army playing basketball too. But I realized during my second year that I can't be Sean Marks or Pero Cameron, my favorite New Zealand basketball players from the past. Or I can't be Michael Jordan or anything like that. So I stopped with my basketball career, started to work in television as assistant director, and after that, I go to some kind of exam, and they took me there in sports department in October 1992. So since October 1992 till 10th of September last year, I was a member of sports department, and I grew up through the years. And I was some kind of deputy chief in this department, serving as executive producer and commentator and host of the TV show at the same time. So it was a lot of work, but anyway, it was really funny. And this kind of work gives you lots of adrenaline and good emotions. Opportunity to travel around the world, so it was my passion actually.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. You were always passionate when you were doing it. Every time I watched you, you know.
If you want to do your work good, you must have some kind of passion. Doesn't matter what your work is. Coach, policeman, the guy with the broom on the streets, or I don't know. Making McDonald's, in every kind of work you can put some passion if you want to be good at this work. This doesn't matter if you're a sports commentator, singer, or I don't know, dog trainer, I don't know. But in every work you need some passion. It's impossible to do your work well without that.
Do you think that that's why you became so good at what you were doing, because you were really passionate and you had a love for the work?
Actually, it's silly to speak about yourself like a god.
No, of course
I
not.
was good for sure, but it's not my work to make these statements. Statements.
Mm,
Uh, but anyway, I think that especially in my job, you must have a lot of knowledge about sports,
mhm,
and
mhm.
if you don't have a passion, you can't have this knowledge.
I know. So what happened at work?
The formal reason was that I don't have a university degree.
Hmm.
After 32 and a half years there and 8 years as executive producer, somebody in new management of the television decided that I'm not qualified enough for that.
Mm,
So it was only, the reason for the people. Everybody knows that it was some kind of political call.
mhm,
Because I have a big mouth and I want to have sharp statements about everything that I saw in the society. So during the last maybe, I don't know, 7 years, I have some problems with that. I don't pretend to be some kind of great hero and freedom fighter and things like that. No, I'm just a guy who
mm,
during his life was led by the will to have a free opinion and to speak free. And here in Bulgaria, maybe a lot of people are thinking that communism is dead, but unfortunately,
mm, mm.
a lot of things from last 30 years are still the same in the country, especially when we're talking about politics.
You said you had a big mouth and you were determined of what you were doing and you were
I'm
looking after it.
proud of this that I have big mouth.
That's what I'm saying. That led you somehow to being sucked from the job, yeah?
yeah, for sure.
So if you could have done something differently, would you have changed anything or you wouldn't?
Uh, if I can turn back time,
Yeah.
or
Mm.
no, I'm not. I'm proud of the things that I have done until now, at the moment.
Do you know my experience living in Bulgaria? And I left, what, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's people like to complain, people like to moan, but people don't like to act from their own place of
But it's
individuality.
still the same here. I don't know
Yeah.
how it's in New Zealand, but in Bulgaria it's the same thing.
Mm.
Everybody is cursing when he's sitting drinking his rakia in front of the big flat TV. But when we must go on the streets and fight for our rights,
Mm.
we're just a few people.
Yeah.
And so we don't have so-called solidarity. And it's really important because if we have some kind of solidarity in our society, and
Mm.
even if we speak about the journalism, because I'm not the only one,
Mm.
we have about 10, 12 people only from Bulgarian national television who were cut in the last 2 months. And if we have some kind of feeling of solidarity between us,
Mm.
nobody show it, nobody. They can call you on the phone, but on public, nobody stands behind your back because they know that they can be the next ones. I was really happy with this job for years, year after
Mm.
year, and it was some kind of family tradition because my father was one of the three founders of the sports department of Bulgarian national television
Mm.
back
Mm.
down in the late 60s.
So if you have to pass something to the generation after you, what would that be?
Just do with your work with passion and love it,
Mm.
because the work is actually one of the most important things in your life.
Mm.
You must love your work and do it with passion if you want to be happy. Find your job, find your place, and be happy with this and do it with passion and with desire.